How you doing? Listen, so I was just reading over in the book of James, and James in the third chapter, he talks about the words that come out of our mouth. He begins this he begins this chapter talking about how powerful our tongue is, and he gives a comparison about how that man can put bits into horses' mouths, and we can put rudders on ships, and we can control these gigantic ships with these small pieces of wood, and a bit in a horse's mouth can control these 1,000-pound animals. But the tongue is an unruly fire that is difficult to control. Man, I was just thinking about that. Like in this day and time, particularly, you have so much social media access to people just will get online and just say anything, or they'll tear down a person with their words, or they'll make these comments and be so derogatory in their verbiage and just strip and tear people. But we, children of God, kingdom believers, kingdom participants, citizens of heaven, not so for us. We're learning how to use our words to promote life as opposed to death, to speak life to one another, to encourage one another, to build up one another, to be able to give words that are going to stimulate the mind of the individuals that we're speaking to, and to speak words of positivity. The world is full of so much negative content that comes from individuals' mouths that if you're not careful, you can get caught up in the swarm, and you'll be the one criticizing everything that you see, criticizing people who don't believe like you believe, criticizing people whose stance is not your stance, and you'll end up propelling that stuff out of your mouth, and you won't even know that you're engaged in distributing death and not life. So we want to be individuals to speak life at any measure. The word of God is life. The word of God is life and strength to our bones and our marrow. So let's be mindful to start watching the content that comes from our mouths, particularly when we're speaking to one another and when we're speaking to ourselves. You will be surprised how many people have buried their own self-esteem by their own words, saying out loud what they can't do, saying to somebody else what they're incapable of and what they don't have, and it stunts their own growth. So we don't want